What's up, y'all? I have been out here at 313 Cable Park for the last few days, and in the last few videos I've been saying how 313 Cable Park is kind of the best cable park in the world. So I figured today I just kind of show you guys why it's the best. The first thing that I wanted to put out there is that if you completely suck at wakeboarding, or if you're just the average wakeboarder or intermediate wakeboarder all the way up to the best wakeboarder on the planet, then this is kind of the place for you. They have every single thing to kind of suit every level rider's needs, from a beginner lake to an intermediate lake to a pro lake, and from the smallest kind of obstacles all the way up to the biggest ones. They have everything for every level rider. It's kind of crazy. There's legit 3 different cable lakes here, and I know some of you guys might be thinking some other cable parks have more than 3 cable lakes, but here all 3 of the lakes were man dug, and they were dug specifically for wakeboarding. It wasn't just a lake that was already there and someone kind of made the cable work to fit in that lake. These lakes were dug specifically, planned out so that the cable is absolutely perfect, and all 3 of these lakes have an island in the center of them, so you're pretty much guaranteed smooth water at all times. And wave breakers definitely don't come anything even close to an island. Islands are for sure the best, and one of my favorite features at any cable park is if they have an island, I'm super stoked that there's going to be smooth water all the time. Let's head over to the beginner lake now. Over there, we'll check it out, and we'll start working our way throughout the rest of the park. We just made it over to the beginner cable now. It is kind of busy. It is a Saturday, but let's go over what's so special about it. So what is so special about this beginner cable is that there's actually 7 towers on this cable, which I believe is the cable with the most towers in the world. It is very rare that I will see a 4-tower cable. However, I have seen a few, and most of the time I do see a 4-tower. It is quite an old cable. I'd say most cables around the world are 5 towers, and quite a few are 6 as well, and none of them are 7. Well, except this one, of course. And what does having more towers than any other cable in the world mean? Well, having more towers mean that the corners are less sharp, and going around them on your wakeboard will be much less aggressive. And going around the corner as a beginner, whenever you have this less aggressive corner, is a much smoother ride, and it's a lot easier for you to accomplish whenever you're first starting wakeboarding. The corners on this cable are actually so smooth that if you completely miss the buoys and are fully out of control, you'll probably go through the corner smoother than you would on a 5-tower. Another cool thing about this beginner cable is that they have pretty much every single beginner feature available, and not only every single beginner feature, but they have them symmetrical. So there will be a kicker on both sides, box on both sides, incline rail on both sides, and flat bar on both sides, as well as a pipe. So if you're wanting to hit features for the very first time, you pretty much have every easy option available. Oh, and the beginner cable is always running at 26 kilometers per hour, so it's extremely easy for beginners to get off of the dock, and this cable will be highly attractive for a beginner wakeboarder, which keeps most of the beginners over here on this dock, which makes it possible to have the intermediate cable always running at 30K and the pro cable always running at 31. This is super cool because there will never be slow hours over on the more advanced cables, which keeps every single rider happy. All right, let's move on to the next thing. Wow. We are arriving over at the intermediate cable now, which is kind of the crossover platform in between the beginner cable and the pro cable. What's so cool about the intermediate cable is that it not only has intermediate features such as kind of a banana rail or this little step up incline, but it also has some of the beginner features from the beginner lake, such as 2 symmetrical boxes, a couple pipes, a couple flat bars. So it's a nice transition from the beginner cable over to this cable, as well as it has some more of kind of pro level features, like maybe this kicker to bank, and also some rail to rails in the back, and maybe even gapping this entire Claudia is kind of a pretty hard push for more of an intermediate rider. So having all of these different levels of features in this one lake really helps you progress really fast. I definitely say that this intermediate cable would work for an extremely wide variety of riders. You could go from, in my opinion, Trent Stuckey is probably the best wakeboarder on the planet. He would definitely not be disappointed with this cable. I'd say that this intermediate cable is probably better than most of the cable parks in the world. And also, if it's your very first time wakeboarding and you were going to try out this lake, you probably wouldn't be disappointed either. For myself personally, the intermediate cable here is actually probably my favorite cable lake here at 313, just because of the wide variety of obstacles. I can be hitting one of the larger obstacles on this lake, and whenever I want to attempt something new on it, all I have to do really is just go to the other side of the lake, try what I want to try on the box a few times, and then take it back to that more difficult obstacle, rather than just going for it straight out of the gate and risking injury. So I find it a bit more chill. I can hit the larger obstacles and then chill out, hit some smaller ones, and yeah, I don't know, it's really fun for me. As you can probably see after checking out this intermediate cable over here, is that one of 313 Cable Park's main goals is progression, and each cable park is sort of like one stepping stone to the next, so that you can overall become a better rider. They even have land training with a handle. You just strap on your wakeboard and you have a bank right here to test some things out on. You also have these little steps right there, a flat bar, and even a little rail to rail to practice hopping from one rail to the next on. Speaking of progression, 313 even offers Cable College. Cable College is basically a program that helps you progress as much as possible. 313 actually has multiple coaches on site at all times, and during Cable College you wear sort of an armband that's colored maybe in the same color as that flag, so that the coaches can more easily see you and they keep an eye on you and kind of help you along with progressing. I don't know 100% everything about Cable College, but if you're interested in learning to wakeboard better, it's definitely something you should check out. Hours of operation: this place is open from 9 a.m. till 10 p.m. and what's so sick about this is it's basically 2 days in one. If you wake up at 9 and start riding, and then once you're kind of tired, you can just head back to your cabin, pass out for a few hours, take a solid nap, and wake up, and it's almost like a whole new day. You can ride the rest of the afternoon and then go to bed, and then it's actually the next day. So you basically get 2 days of riding in one day, just because the days are so long here in Lithuania. Have you ever been to that one cable park where you climb out of the water up sort of a mountain and then walk through a forest of thorns and all sorts of crazy things all the way back to the dock and completely destroy your feet? Well, guess what? That definitely doesn't happen here. Around all three of the lakes, there is a sort of hydro turf, like an old school football field or soccer field, fake grass around the entire thing. So yeah, super easy on your feet and insanely easy to walk back. On-site accommodation, yeah, 44 cabins. Don't quote me on that, but I think each of them sleep around 4 people each, and I'm sure you could maybe get a couple more in there if you really want to cram tight. But yeah, a total of 44 different cabins right here on the edge of the lake looking out at the Pro Lake. This place has a super dope restaurant bar cafe thing. It's called Bruisley. Super good food, and it's open pretty much every hour of the day. Board Sports board shop. Ooh.
Hello.
Oh man, they even have the best. Check it out. Wow. So nice. World's largest public wake park obstacle, the Mega Pool. Pretty sick. And last but not least, the Pro Cable. This has the biggest, baddest obstacles of all of the cables here, and it's also a pretty smooth transition from the intermediate over to the Pro. And this lake is kind of like no chill. All the obstacles are big. There aren't really many smaller ones, so pretty much at all times you're kind of full sending. Just because all of the obstacles on this lake are large doesn't necessarily mean that they are all difficult. There are plenty of lines out there that you could try out for a more of a beginner to intermediate level rider if you're wanting to check out the pro lake for the first time. For instance, this transfer box over here, you could just hit the box if you wanted as a beginner, or even like this long pipe with the step ups on the side. If you're a more intermediate rider, you could just hop on the long pipe and ride that one alone. So there are options for everyone, but just keep in mind all the obstacles are pretty big and less chill than the other two lakes. What's so great about this pro lake is that most cable parks that you will go to, they try and make their cable extremely friendly to all of their customers. And I'd say that most customers that go to a cable park are more on the beginner to intermediate level side of wakeboarding. So at those cable parks, you might only get maybe one pretty big or large feature, sometimes two if you're lucky, and the rest will be kind of tamed down. But what's sick here is that all of the obstacles are huge, all of them are big, all of them have super dope lines, and you can kind of mix it up on each and every one. That is very suitable for a pro level rider. And some of these obstacles are bigger, so it makes it easier to do tricks that these pros may not have been capable of doing anywhere else, and it helps them take their riding to the next level. And I think that 313 building this lake, it was super cool of them. You can definitely tell that they care about the riders, and not just the pros. They care about the beginner level riders, the intermediate level riders, as well as the pro level riders. And you can definitely tell that they care about progressing the sport of wakeboarding, taking it to new levels, and you can definitely tell that they want to grow the sport. Fun fact that you might not necessarily know about 313 is that the owners of this park are actually riders themselves. They actually went to tons of parks around the world. They went to CWC in the Philippines, tons of parks throughout Europe, and tried them all out, tested out different ways features were set up, different heights of cables, different lengths of ropes, and they sort of found what works best. And then they came here and built the best park they could. And that's definitely one of the reasons that 313 has such a great reputation, is because it's a park for riders by riders, and I think that's super sick. Anyways, I think that's it for my little tour out here at 313. This is definitely a destination park that you have to check out. Even if you're all the way in America, this is definitely one worth flying out to, getting a cabin, maybe staying for a week, maybe 2 weeks, who knows. But yeah, this place is absolutely epic. You're gonna need to come out and check it out. Make sure you guys go check out all of 313's social platforms. They have tons of wakeboarding content coming out all the time, and also tons of the top riders around the world come out here, so you're definitely gonna want to stay tuned with that. If you guys did like this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up, comment below on what kind of videos you guys want to see in the future, and remember, I'll be uploading a wakeboarding video every second day forever, so make sure you guys subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.